Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. And today we're going to talk about the only news that matters, and that's good news. Before we get started, you might notice that this is a slightly different looking episode of Good News. I'm trying this new thing where I will actually do a channel member live stream in which I go through all the items we're going to cover, and I'll give the channel members, you guys, a chance to comment on the items we're covering. So I can post your comments along with the information that I'm giving. Kind of makes this thing a little bit more interactive. And again, says a big thank you to the people who are supporting the channel, you guys, you channel members. It gives me a chance to share your ideas, make this whole thing feel a bit more interactive, and I think it's kind of a fun gimmick. So let me know how you guys get along with this. Lord knows they'll probably give more insightful information than I do, so this has become more of a collaborative effort. And now, oh my goodness, a McFarlane figure that I genuinely, unironically think looks badass. The new 52 Cyborg Superman. It's going to be released around about July. $22.99, a nice comfortable price point as well. This just looks so mean and gnarly. You know me, love my evil doppelgangers, love my cyborg robot clones, whatever. This looks so badass. I'm a fan of the original 90s Cyborg Superman, but this upgraded one with the more kind of just mechanical body horror looking elements, so awesome. One thing that I think is a little bit of a shame though, is that the image on the back of the box gives you ideas as to how much cooler it could also look. Imagine if he had an alternate head with an open mouth with the red inside, or a swappable hand that could be a cannon with all the lights on there. That would just make it look so much more dynamic. Nonetheless though, even the basic looking one that you've got still looks super cool. There's something about a cyborg steel jaw on a human head that just looks wicked. Bastion knew it, Raiden from Metal Gear Revengeance knew it. It's just a cool looking aesthetic. So this, on the whole, I would actually be tempted by, even though it's McFarlane, even though it's DC, just as a cool action figure, this one ticks all the boxes. Amazing Yamaguchi are giving us a Joker 1.5. So this is going to be an upgrade, an update, and kind of a re-release of the original one that came out in 2000 and blah. But this does look like a very nice Joker figure. I get a little bit gun-shy with kind of re-releases from Yamaguchi because some of the older stuff doesn't hold up that great. I'm looking at you, Venom. But their newer releases are absolutely fantastic. So this might fall somewhere in the middle. The actual design of the character, I love. I love the slightly anime kind of look. That's still just about classic comic booky enough that you can put him into a regular display. I really, really dig that. With all the different accessories as well, the throwing knives, the guns, and someone on the live stream raised an interesting point. They said, hey, DC character with guns. Is this meaning that Warner Brothers are softening their stance? Because McFarlane notoriously can't do guns with their characters. I don't know, but it's an interesting question to ask. Maybe because it's a re-release of an older figure, they can kind of get away with it. That's an interesting one to look at. So this is going to retail for about $65, give or take. He's up for pre-order on the 22nd and he's going of this month, and he's going to be releasing around about September or December. One of the embers. I think it's December of this year. So yeah, if you're building up a Batman display, this might be your quintessential Joker to go for. Personally, I really like the look of him. And now a quick shout out to this episode's sponsor, legendsverse.com. This is a brand new Marvel Legends curation website that honestly, I think it's got all the tools that every new Marvel Legends fan needs and every old Marvel Legends fan needs. But not just that, they also have sections for other action figure lines such as G.I. Joe, Mafex, and a whole bunch of other ones as well. Now, there are a few different action figure cataloging sites out there. One thing that I really like about this one is that not only do they have comprehensive articles for each figure that's been released throughout the years, but also they've got different sections where you can make and curate your own teams. It helps you categorize and coordinate coordinate what figures you still need, which ones you're expecting, and which ones you've ordered for each different subline and group. Because there's also kind of a gallery section where you can post pictures of your displays and whatnot. It's a really fun setup. So I highly recommend, if you're collecting your Marvel Legends or any other lines and you want help curating your display and your collection, keeping track of everything, including your pre-orders as well, that's a nice thing. You got this different pre-order section where you can click a drop-down menu and select where you've pre-ordered it from, whether or not you've paid, when you're expecting it. For someone as scatterbrained as me, that's a real big bonus right there. So yeah, go and check out legendsverse.com. The link is going to be in the description below. And if you're just using the free service, then you get all that good stuff right there. And if you love what they're doing, then you can pay a little one-off fee and then you can get all the extra features as well. I'm very selective as to who I kind of do sponsorship things with, because I don't want to be putting the Model Behavior brand next to something that I'm not confident with. But after talking to the gentleman who runs this website, really good guy, dude, shout out to you, and actually playing around with what you do there, I thought, you know what? Yeah, this gets the boom seal of Model Behavior. So Legends collectors, go check this site out. Now we've got King Ghidorah from Higher Toys. This dude is pretty amazing looking, but also I got a couple of caveats as well. He's got an 18.5-inch wingspan, so that's pretty darn huge, even for kind of a smaller scale figure. This is a big boy, and he should be. He's going to be about $100, also releasing around about the first quarter of next year. I love my kaijus. One thing I always thought kind of weird about King Ghidorah was just that I feel like he's missing arms. I know dragons don't always necessarily have arms, but he looks a little bit odd with the 3 heads and no extra limbs. I kind of feel like that would sort of fill out the torso a little bit, but then again, I'm giving critiques to a 50-year-old movie property. There you go. Haier have certainly done a lovely job with this, although also just never a big fan of the all gold color scheme. I want some more visceral detail in my kaijus. This looks like a McFarlane gold label figure, like some sort of Oscar trophy or something. But it's still a great looking action figure product. If you want a classic Godzilla enemy right here, then I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a better looking King Ghidorah. Just wish he had arms. Now we've got a whole big bunch of Hot Toys Star Wars reveals, and it's an interesting little grab bag assortment. First of all, we've got Darth Sidious from Revenge of the Sith, who I know a lot of you apologists live in your fantasy land and like to pretend that, oh, you know, the prequels weren't great, but Revenge of the Sith was no, it wasn't, okay? It wasn't. But Ian McKellen, no, not Ian McKellen, what's his name? The Darth Sidious actor. Nope, it's gone. I would just waste time trying to think of it. He was fantastic, because he was in his own movie that he was just having a ball with. Oh gosh, what's his name? Come on, that's going to bug me. Ian McDiarmid. I knew it was an Ian. So yeah, he's having a great time, and this representation, it looks really fun. Then also, we're getting the Republic Commando, whose I thought was from the video game. I thought he was from the early 2000s Republic Commando video game, because I remember how popular that was when I was working at Blockbuster Video back in the day. Whew, that ages me. But no, this one's from the Bad Batch. I've not seen the Bad Batch, but it's got a big following. I know a lot of people enjoy what they did with the Bad Batch. And then finally, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor style Obi-Wan in Mandalorian armor. I don't know if this is just a concept idea. I think it is, because I don't think this referenced any particular story, or that wasn't in the Obi-Wan TV show or anything. So I think this might just be a creation of their own design. Certainly one for the collector who's got everything and just happens to have a random $300 weighing down their pockets, and they're like, man, what am I gonna do with this $300? Obi-Wan Mandalorian. There you go. So yeah, Hot Toys still just finding more and more Star Wars properties to make action figures for, and if they don't exist, they're gonna make them themselves. SH Figure Arts are giving us more Dragon Ball Z characters, this time Pan and Gil. This little set here is going to go for about $60, and it's releasing in, you see as I glance down at my notes, January of next year. You know me, I don't know my Dragon Ball Z characters, but these look very cute. I kind of dig what they've done, so a nice little smaller chibi kind of set for you Dragon Ball Z fans. So there's so many out there that I guess if you've got a full-on Dragon Ball Z collection, it's got to be massive by now. But hey, these look like two, well, technically two more. I mean, it's a main figure and then the little accessory. We'll call them two figures. They look like worthy additions to the lineup. And I don't think, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think they've hidden any accessories for other characters in with this, which is something that figure arts seem to enjoy doing more and more. So at least this seems like more of a fair deal. 4 Horsemen have revealed this year's Figure Obscura set, and oh my goodness, the temptation is, it's real. It's real, and it wasn't at first, but I made the terrible mistake of diving deeper into these images, and the more I see, the more I'm like, oh gosh, they do look really pretty. So we've got a 2-pack of these Anubis not Greek, what am I saying? Jeez Louise, Dave. I'm not redoing that. Of these 2 Egyptian characters. Oh my goodness. They look beautiful with all of the accessories and the cloth goods alone. That's real nice. And you got these deluxe packs with pins and mugs as well. Just a gorgeous set. But what really got me thinking was, you know what? You could be looking at a couple of ancient Egyptian apocalypse horsemen, because I suddenly imagined posing these guys with my select apocalypse, and all of a sudden I thought, oh, these are going to make beautiful music together. Then maybe throw in the mythic legions Equidon or and the big red Rhinotaur. Boom! That is an amazing, monstrous Egyptian set of apocalypse horsemen there. And then all of a sudden, that $20 price tag doesn't seem too bad. I mean, it doesn't from the start either. $120, 2 high-end figures, $60 each, cloth goods, a ton of accessories. Yeah, that seems pretty good to me. And looking at the alternate heads as well, especially for the Anubis guy with the roaring-looking jackal face. Oh man, okay, the good thing about Figure Obscura is that it's only available for a short amount of time. And then they're gone. So if I can just resist the FOMO for long enough, I'll be in the safe zone. But man, that's that's going to be tough. Speaking of spending a lot of money, Mondo are teasing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles range. And this, if it's anything like their Masters of the Universe figures, they're going to be gorgeous and they're going to be expensive. So this is one I'm going to enjoy looking at from afar. Right now, we've only got this one teaser image, but it's enough to whet the appetite. So whatever it is that they do reveal, I'm looking forward to seeing it. But if you want some slightly cheaper Ninja Turtles collectibles, you could always go over to the Mattel website, because Mattel Creations are doing this cute, chibi little people kind of set of the original kind of Mirage Ninja Turtles. $25. That's a price we could all sleep well at night knowing we've spent. This is kind of fun. Looks like South Park Ninja Turtles almost, because this is the 40th anniversary of Ninja Turtles, apparently, which baffles and boggles my mind and makes me feel real old, because I would have been about 3 years old. So yeah, that's it's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. But these figures look real fun. It's not something I need, but as a little, this would be a good gift idea. I feel if you've got a Ninja Turtles fan in your life, they probably haven't seen this, because it's going to be a bit of an obscure release over at Mattel Creations. Pick up one of these bad boys for them. $25, all 4 turtles. Looks like a lot of fun. And now you know what time of year it is. We are approaching Pride Month, which is the one glorious time of year when every evil soulless corporation remembers that they love the gays. Therefore, everything gets a rainbow makeover. It's so transparent, but at the same time, I kind of love it. So it's a love-hate kind of thing going on here, because I know that all these companies are doing is just chasing the lucrative gay dollar. I mean, I know I would do. Check out my OnlyFans. But at least in this instance, it's NECA giving us a character who is a gay icon. So that's kind of fun. We are getting over the rainbow Elvira. So I actually really dig this, because it's something that actually works and makes sense for Pride Month. It's not like just throwing a rainbow leotard on He-Man is He-Man's also a gay icon. So that actually would kind of work. Nonetheless, though, I like what they're doing with this. They've even got the Elvira actress doing promos for this version of the figure. It feels kind of wholesome. I dig it. Like a team effort from action figure manufacturer and the person that is being made in action figure form. I kind of love that. The way that they had Judith Hogue do lots of April promotion as well. It's been the same with Elvira. And this is really fun. I actually super dig it. So this is going to be $37.99, available over at Big Bad Toy Store, and I think most retailers. I don't think it's an exclusive. So yeah, as a way of soullessly corporate grabbing the gay dollar during Pride Month, this is one of the ones that I can actually honestly get on board with. This summer, Fresh Monkey Fiction will finally, because it's been a long time, they will finally be releasing Wave 1 of Operation Monster Force. And to whet the appetite and build up some more excitement, they're showing some pictures of the Dracula who's coming out for this line. And ever since this was first announced and we saw the renders and then the convention images, these all look really cool. Very much in line, I'm seeing, with just my own opinion, very much in line with the G.I. Joe Hasbro style, articulation, detail, accessories. Basically, it looks like a supernatural version of these kinds of characters that you could fudge them all in together. I think that would be really cool. This Dracula just looks great. I love what Fresh Monkey Fiction are doing with these. So it should be around about August that these are dropping, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the reviews. I don't know who's going to get them. I'm reckoning Unparalleled Universe, probably D-Amazing as well. You two gents, I'm expecting to see some reviews from, more likely than not. But whoever covers them, I'm going to be interested to see what we think about them once they're actually in hand. The Masters of the Universe Origins Horde Prime Trooper figure. I think I got all the right words in the right order there, easy for me to say. Had some full image packaging reveals from Mattel, and this dude looks super fun. Definitely, clearly an army builder, and he comes with the little hovering drone as well, which looks super fun. So I get a little bit confused with my Masters of the Universe figures. What line is from what, whether it's the old classic retro looking ones or the modern cartoon ones. I find it difficult to keep track. But this, to my uneducated eyes, just looks like a really cool robot droid army builder type creation. So that alone is enough to make me go, yeah, I kind of like the look of this. Also, just the artwork on the boxes. That was another thing I was talking about in the live stream. Oh my goodness! That 80s style fantasy action figure artwork, I love that they're doing new modern versions of that for all of their figures, because these things just harken back so many wonderful sense memories. Because even in the 80s, even though the toys might have looked basic, or even if the cartoon was very bare bones, when you're a little kid and you look at the fantastical fantasy artwork on the boxes, that's what you're playing with. That's what gets the mind and the imagination conjuring up these images. And that's what they've recreated for these toys. And that, I really love that. Speaking of Mondo, they are also doing a Godzilla x Kong line of figures. I say line, 2 figures, Godzilla and Kong. I mean, you don't really need any more. Those are the 2 title characters right there. These are going to be $190 each and limited to, I do believe, 400 pieces. So they're doing the old, control the supply, keep the price high. It's a marketing tactic. It's a way of going about things. And I've always been intrigued. I would love to have one of these Mondo figures in hand just to see, like, does this feel like nearly $200 worth of figure? I don't know. I mean, the whole point is they're not designed to be super intensely realistically detailed. They're more pop art type things. But that in itself is kind of cool. So if you like that style, then you can get on over to mondo.com, see if it's worth a flutter. That's a very British expression, very old British expression. Have a flutter on that. Normally it's about the ponies. Have a flutter on the ponies. Why am I telling you this? Garage Toys are doing something kind of weird. I don't even know the name of this particular kaiju, but the story behind it is kind of interesting. This was an original Godzilla costume that was repurposed and remade for an episode of Ultraman. So you can totally see it's Godzilla with a few new accessories on him and a different paint job. So it's just a weird little anomaly. As I said, I don't actually know the full name of this or even the price or where it's available. But sometimes on Good News, I just like to show you pretty pictures. And this is, well, it's more bizarre than pretty, but it's also kind of interesting. So I kind of dig that. Now from TB League XARH, I think that's the name of the company. You know when I'm going from the regular news releases to the stuff that is on the Fulham report on the Model Behaviour Facebook group, because the information starts to get a little bit more scattershot as I've just got pictures to go on. But these are 1/12 scale, I do believe, 1/12 scale silicon body mermaid characters. I mean, they look awesome. I think they're based off of a comic book. There's some artwork here. Twin mermaids, princesses of the sea. And they look like exactly that. So I don't know this franchise, but if you maybe have an Aquaman or a Prince Namor you want to put these two next to, kind of flanking him, that's kind of fun. Also, I don't know about silicon bodies all that much. I've got a couple of action figures with silicon bodies, but apparently they do need a lot of sort of maintenance over time, or at least just protecting them from the elements so they don't dry out and crack or anything like that. I don't know that much about maintaining these sort of things. Action figures need to be pretty hardware-y if they're going to survive in model behavior towers. But yeah, these look kind of awesome. A little bit of a bizarre, weird, interesting curiosity. Noto Studios are doing a 1/12 scale cloth goods Winter Soldier. This looks pretty awesome. Basically, imagine an MCU Winter Soldier done by Mezco. I think it's going to be a very similar kind of look. The cloth goods on him, they look like very kind of tight-fitting, which is great, because you don't want that baggy pajama, romper suit, onesie kind of look going on with your superheroes. Also, just from the movie itself, the ski mask style design for the Winter Soldier mask, I just think that looks wicked. It's funny, it's got a big bang of Spider-Man 3 Green Goblin going on there, but for whatever reason it works so much better with Bucky and the Winter Soldier kind of design. Really, really fits the aesthetic. So don't have a release or price date yet, I know, shocking, right? But what I can see from the pictures, this does look pretty wicked. McFarlane have put out a press release announcing that they are in a partnership with the UFC, so I guess we're going to be getting some UFC action figures coming out soon, or in a year's time, or however long it takes. You know that whenever it does happen though, you'll hear about it here first, or second or third, or I'm rarely up to date with the news. A little bit of a comic book story now, and one that I needed to address with myself for the longest time. It's time for me to stop pretending that I like John Romita Jr.'s artwork. I forced myself to. In the mid-90s, when he started penciling Spider-Man, I was like, geez, I don't like this, but after years and years of him doing Spider-Man, I was like, I guess I like this now? No, I don't. No, I don't. And now, what's prompted this thought is this new Wolverine homage cover that he's done. And it's obviously a take on the Frank Miller, come over here, bub, looking image. And it's like, state of your Wolverine, mate. What's going on with this cantaloupe head? Like, has he just gone 10 rounds with Tyson? He's got these weird swellings. Or this ain't it, man. And seeing some of the comments made me think, yeah, maybe the artwork isn't great. And maybe 1990s Dave was right to be disappointed that he was on Spider-Man, and should have been deservedly horrified to realize he was going to be the main penciler for the next 20 years. It's a real kind of, what's the name of something where you get kidnapped by someone and then you fall in love with the kidnapper? That's what it is. I thought that I loved John Romita Jr. artwork. No, I don't. I just convinced myself that I did because he was penciling everything that I love. So it's kind of funny how artwork does change, because we're holding up, or at least I'm holding up, the original Frank Miller one as this, much better version. But hey, modern Frank Miller? Can you believe that this is the same guy who did that original cover in the 80s? Boy, art styles change over time. They sure do. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share that as an interesting, fun little evolution of my mental appreciation. What do you guys think about John Romita Jr.? Because I was trying very hard there not to rag on him, but just give my personal opinion, because I don't want to be mean to anyone. The dude is a talented artist. You couldn't have got to where you have without being talented. I'm just saying the artwork itself is not my cup of tea. Is it your cup of tea? I'd be interested to hear. Over in movie news, great news for horror fans, specifically Friday the 13th fans, who I do count myself among our number. Horror Inc. have announced a whole multi-platform kind of relaunch of Jason and Friday the 13th. This is so great to hear, because Jason has been held up in copyright limbo ever since the inception of Friday the 13th, really. You've got the original writer, Sean S. Cunningham. You've got movie studios like New Line and various other ones all vying for the rights and fighting over who owns what. And it seems like some of that might have been ironed out now because we're going to be getting a whole bunch of brand new Jason and Friday the 13th projects across all different medias. So probably comic books, video games, maybe more movies, hopefully. Whatever you're doing, I'm going to be excited because I love my 80s slashers and Jason is right up there in the S tier. So whatever they've got cooking, give me more Friday the 13th. Over in Artist Alley, huge shout out to You're a Crab. Interesting name, much more interesting artwork though. We are talking Thicc Mammies, and dang it, this gentleman knows what his audience wants to see. The first bit of his artwork that came across my timeline was Rhea Ripley, who I think is like the poster girl for Thicc Mammies. And this artwork was absolutely phenomenal, and I was like, yes, I believe I will follow. And honestly, the talent of this artist, absolutely spectacular, and covering all different, not mediums, but all different franchises. Everything from WWE to Marvel to Berserk, anime, all sorts of stuff, all done in this awesome kind of modern anime kind of look. I just dig it, man. I dig it the most. This is the kind of, if I had had original pieces of this artwork, boom, that would be framed up on the wall. No questions asked. I really, really dig this. So yeah, I highly recommend you go check this artist out because look, the images speak for themselves. Absolutely awesome. My only problem right now is how the heck do I pick which one to put in the thumbnail? Because they're all just awesome. There you go, I ran out of words. Awesome. Over in Cosplay Corner, a big shout out to Ashlyn Day. This lady is a professional fashion model and you can kind of tell that with the amount of resources you see at her disposal. Because the makeup, the lighting, the photography, the costumes, there's some high-end cosplay going on here, and the results, they kind of speak for themselves. So while you're taking a look at that awesome cosplay, let me just remind you one more time about our channel sponsor, Legendsverse. You can go check them out, follow the link in the description below. A free service that lets you catalog all of your Marvel Legends and other action figure lines. Not only that, but you can put together teams and assemble want lists, and you can track your orders, see what you've ordered from where, when they're releasing. It's basically a one-stop shop for managing every Marvel Legends collection and other lines as well. There's also a paid service that you can use if you want to, which gives you even more options to cultivate and build up your best display, not just in person, but online as well. So go check them out in the description. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the channel sponsor. Thank you, Legendsverse, for sponsoring Model Behavior. And thank you, Ashlyn, for doing some badass cosplay. And folks, that does it for good news for today. What did you think about the items covered? Comment below. Let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And also, if you want to go one step beyond in supporting the channel, then you can do by getting a YouTube channel membership, which will now enable you to have your say on good news. So all the little comments that were popping up while I was talking about things, those are all the channel members who were part of the channel member live stream in which I was discussing all the topics I was going to be covering on good news. I gotta write a script for that. But you get the gist. So if you become a channel member, then you can be a more interactive part of the live experience. Plus, you can watch all the different live streams, go into the archives, the Marvel Legends rankings, all those different things. I try to do as much as I can do to give you some bang for your buck, because I really appreciate your support. So gang, thank you so much for that. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.